let's get to the topic that I have been asked to speak today. What dreams are made of, and more importantly, to dream or not to dream. So let's talk about defining what a dream is. The most important thing, that I have already mentioned is dreams are aspirations. They are desires. Dreams are not things that are immediately achievable. Dreams qualify under the category of those desires and aspirations and wishes that are seemingly impossible currently, but which you wish to fulfill in the near future. How should we dream? And why are dreams important? Dreams are important simply because they are our gateway to the possible future that we wish to live. Dreams are those engines that take us to the desired goal. But how does it happen? Because this is the mechanism of a dream. What happens when you dream? Dreams are not something having this desire or wish to probably see a film or probably, eat something special in the evening tonight. It is much bigger. It is aspiration. It is larger than life. So, why is it important to dream? Because with your dreams is connected your feelings and emotions of how you see yourself and how you value yourself. The more you dream, the more you desire, the more you create your reality, the more information is fed back to you about your own self-worth and how possibly did you make that impossible thing, I am possible. It is in a certain way validating the possibility of who you are and the value of who you are in some measures. So that is why it is important to dream and dream correctly to visualize that dream. Now that I look back at my life, I realize that a lot of the things that have actually happened to me had already been imagined in my head. When I was in college, when I used to study microbiobiochemistry, I should be thinking about microbiobiochemistry or immediately going for giving my GMAT exam and traveling abroad. But no, what all I used to think that one day I'm sitting there latko-fying at the train, trying to take that breeze because you're young and restless and reckless too. And, you're standing there in that train, going from Andheri to Churchgate because I was studying in St. Xavier's College. And I remember I used to constantly be in my thoughts. I used to imagine that I'm getting an award for something that I've choreographed. I used to imagine that people are clapping. I used to imagine that, I'm getting clicked. I used to imagine the red carpet. I used to imagine all these things. And every time the train used to stop, and then people used to push me, so it's all hot. I was like, oh, okay, now I have to come back into my reality. And I'm not kidding you, and I'm not trying to be humorous. This is the truth. When I look back and I extrapolate some of the things that have happened to me in my life and understanding how it reached there, it is true. When I was reading The Power of the Subconscious Mind, I realized that this was actually happening unconsciously. I was doing that unconsciously. I didn't have the intelligence then to realize, ye sab karna hai. It was happening automatically to me because it was my strongest desire. It is a different thing that later on, exactly what I wanted, I realized that maybe this is not my dream because I was very close to it and I said I moved sideways and I went to television. But that's a different aspect. But what is important is, all this while when I was studying microbiobiochemistry, went into do hotel management, constantly in my head, the app was playing, the dream was playing. And slowly and clearly, I have to tell you this, things happened organically. I never had any inroads or, people whom I knew who were choreographers. I never assisted anybody in my life. And I wanted to become a choreographer, a film choreographer. Step 3 is asking yourself, why do you want this dream? I'll tell you why we need to ask ourselves this. We will run out of gas. We'll run out of fuel. Because the why is connected to the fuel, is connected to the rocket fuel that keeps the engine going. Let me give you an example. It could be anything. In my life, I had certain people who were against me taking dance as a career. So it was a proving point कि मैं करके दिखाऊंगा. So the fuel was anger and angst. For somebody else, it could be I just dream of this. It'll make me so happy. My reasons could be different. Somebody else's reasons could be different. It could be anger. It could be fueled by, a certain kind of an angst, a pain, or love. It doesn't matter. Whatever is the driving emotion, it needs to be identified, because that's going to be a rocket fuel for that dream to not die out. Because dreams can die a natural death. Disappointments will come. The final step is, how do I do this? Okay, I visualized it. I used all my senses. I can imagine myself doing this. I also know why I want to do this. But now, how do I make this happen? So we need to get into something called as pragmatism. What is pragmatism? Pragmatism is having your feet on the ground. When you're dreaming, it's all here. It's all cerebral. It's all in your head. Now, how do I come to the ground reality? What is the ground reality? Okay, how far is this journey? What are the processes? Do I have the intellect? Do I have the emotional intellect? Do I have the ability to stick on? Can I give up certain things in my life? Because it will require you to be very focused. It will require you to be super flexible. Because you might think that the path to go there is ta, 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 and this A plus B plus C, but it may not be that way. When you cross A, you come to B, you realize, oh, B has some challenges. You'll have to circumvent B and jump to D and come back to B and go back to C. It's not going to be, that simple or easy, no matter how you've imagined it. So learning to be flexible, and that is why I say life is not a 100-meter sprint or a marathon race. Neither. Life is a hurdle race. People who succeed are people who know how to learn to navigate a hurdle race. You know what is a hurdle race? Where every time you run a few, meters, you are encountered with a problem. The runner, the sprinter, never runs back. Have you seen him running back? He either ducks in, jumps over, kicks it. All is allowed. And so learning to also realize that whatever you perceived of your dream and the roadmap that you have placed will have to be flexible. Being focused is one thing, which is great, but learning to be flexible is very important. And I don't mean in the body, but in the mind. Yeah? Learning to be, again, falling in love with the process. Very important. Saying, I want this dream. I wish I have a car. It's not going to happen. Even if you creatively visualize it and say, I want that red Ferrari. Not going to happen, dude. Wake up. You got to put your work to it. How are you going to achieve this? What is your modus operandi? What is the time limit are you setting yourself? Are you impatient and want it really the quick way? And is it really going to happen? Being realistic of your dreams is super important. Being pragmatic is super important. So this is the most important part of your dream space, where you put a process, and that is why it's very important. As much as you love your dream, you must love your process of achieving that dream. Because if you don't love the process, you will have problems with it all the time. And here is what I've written it down when I put it all together. Dreams are vivid, lucid desires and wants created by the waking, conscious mind that may seem unattainable at that point of time, but which we hope we will be able to fulfill in the future. So that's the definition of dreams in the sense of what we are talking today, not the dreams that we dream when we are asleep. Second, it is important to visualize your dream clearly and with detail, consistently too, till it reaches the subconscious mind. You have to dream and visualize it continuously for a long enough period of time for it to reach the subconscious critical filter of your brain. Because we all know that then it will become like an app that runs in the background without you putting too much energy into it. And you will then create the power of the subconscious mind, where the universe and the Shah Rukh Khan dialogue, you know that one? Puri Kainat one? Subconscious mind, same. but thoda different. Okay? The third thing, asking yourself why you want this dream is super important, because that is your rocket fuel. It's your rocket fuel. It's your trigger to want that dream badly enough to make sure that you don't lose track. So remember, why you want that dream is very important too. And the fourth one, to actualize that dream, you need to have a clear picture, a roadmap. Do you have the intellect? Do you have the tact? Do you have the patience? Do you love the process, or do you love only the dream? Super important. That is why I tell people that sometimes it's better that when you're dreaming, you dream it in such a way that you give yourself no choice. Stay focused and flexible, of course, but don't give yourself choice. You know what that means? Because when you have too many choices, you know what your mind does? It's lazy. It'll tell itself, chhod dena yaar. Kuch aur karte hain yaar. I'm going to give you today a definition which doesn't exist in on Google. And here is what I've written it down when I put it all together. Dreams are vivid, lucid desires and wants created by the waking, conscious mind that may seem unattainable at that point of time, but which we hope we will be able to fulfill in the future. So that's the definition of dreams in the sense of what we are talking today, not the dreams that we dream when we are asleep. Second, it is important to visualize your dream clearly and with detail, consistently too, till it reaches the subconscious mind. You have to dream and visualize it continuously for a long enough period of time for it to reach the subconscious critical filter of your brain. Because we all know that then it will become like an app that runs in the background without you putting too much energy into it. And you will then create the power of the subconscious mind, where the universe and the Shah Rukh Khan dialogue, you know that one? Puri Kainat one? Subconscious mind, same, but thoda different. Okay? The third thing, asking yourself why you want this dream is super important, because that is your rocket fuel. It's your rocket fuel. It's your trigger to want that dream badly enough to make sure that you don't lose track. So remember, why you want that dream is very important too. And the fourth one, to actualize that dream, you need to have a clear picture, a roadmap. Do you have the intellect? Do you have the tact? Do you have the patience? Do you love the process, or do you love only the dream? Most importantly, what is the price you're willing to pay for that dream? Are you willing to give up your social media? Are you willing to give up your favorite game on PSP because it takes 2 or 3 hours every day? Or are you investing that much of time and energy into other things and getting distracted? How much time are you willing to put into your dream? Either thinking about it or doing something about it is also very important. Most importantly, don't give yourself choices. Remember, no U-turn. You are going there. This way, that way, but you're going there. So with that, I leave you with just one phrase. If you have built castles in the air, all is not lost. Now get up and lay the foundations under them. I repeat, if you have dreamt of castles in the air, all is not lost. Now wake up and build the foundations under them. And with that, thank you, TEDx.